Heyo, we're back with another mock tutorial. Mock tutorial. We're just going to be taking a quick look at this new building style that I've taken on with my most recent upload of the 1 hour mock challenge videos, and that is the SNOT building technique. And no, this isn't about your nose. It is a acronym which stands for studs not on top. And basically what you do is you take bricks, you lay them on their side, and then that becomes your floor or ceiling. So here we have a nice flat and smooth floor, which is basically the whole point of the SNOT technique, is to get that nice smooth floor if you don't have tiles. And today we're just going to be going over the basics because it's the first time I've done it, and I just want to share a few key takeaways. A lot of times when I do my mocks, I don't have a lot of planning. I just have a basic idea for the landscape, and then as for detailing and minifigs, I just wait and do that later. Unfortunately, when working with SNOT designs and techniques, you're going to need to plan ahead a lot more. For example, in this build, I needed to know exactly where all the minifigs were going to be, because here you can see I have studs facing out for all of my characters to reside on. And if I did this later, I'd have to take a lot of things apart, and it just wouldn't be worth my time. Now, of course, you can just stand minifigs without little studs, but you're able to angle them a lot better, and it just overall looks better as well. Now, my biggest mistake today with the SNOT technique is I had this little detailing right here. Unfortunately, it doesn't line up to the middle of this because this thing wouldn't fit on here if I had it pushed over all the way. Now see, that was just because of lack of planning, and when working with SNOT technique, you really need to know what you're doing. Now another thing I've started doing a lot more with my smaller mocks is adding some kind of, little side paneling. So if we tear this off, one thing that's nice about SNOT is that it is easier to make something like this because your bricks are just going like this, and then these kind of bricks with the studs facing out are a lot easier to place. And then you can build something like this and then just snap it on with ease. So really today, I'm sure I'm going to do more tutorials on this technique because it's really popular and really cool. But my main takeaways from this is plan ahead, and using studs to create like placeholders on top of your build is really nice. Another thing you'll want to start doing when you get better with this is adding different coloring into the floor. I think that would have really enhanced mine if I had done the darker gray as well. But again, this was my first try, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Now, of course, you don't need to put everything on a stud. Like these are just sitting on their own, and that works just fine. It's just a little bit more slick, so things can slide around easier. And one last thing to kind of wrap this up. When you're putting stuff down randomly on top, I mostly put this down just so I could justify not having anything on top. It's kind of like a little bit of detail. Unfortunately, it stands out a little bit because everything else is so flat. So if you're going to do something like that, I recommend kind of planning to build more around it, or just build it in a natural way, because the way I did it just kind of stands out. It makes it seem almost like mini stairs that go to nowhere, which doesn't really help anything. So let me know what you think of this in the comment section down below. I love this building technique a lot. It makes my builds look really nice and just pro with the smooth surface. Now I'm going to keep expanding with this building technique and definitely do more tutorials once I get more advanced with it. And one last quick thing, if you were wondering, these walls here are also on studs, and then they just snap into place really easily. So you're going to need a lot of stud pieces, whether it be 1x2s, 1x4s, or just the classic 1x1s. I even use the 1x1s with a hole in it and stick in a Technic pin, and that serves just fine. It's just that your minifig's not going to be as stable when it's put on there. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. I always appreciate it. And make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. I'm loving these new weekly mock videos, so stay tuned for those as well.